You're watching Daybreak on 12 News.
Happy Thursday, Southeast Texas. Thanks so much for waking up with us on 12 News Daybreak. It's August 6th, and I'm Tracy Kennick.
Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. I'm Vanessa Broussard.
And I'm meteorologist Jeff Gerber. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. How's the weather looking today?
Well, for most of us right now, not too bad. For some, we are looking at some rain around the Winnie area. They've seen some pretty good rain for this morning. And we're also looking at some scattered rain, excuse me, down towards the southwestern corner of Jefferson County. But a quick look at around the rest of the area, pretty quiet. Don't see too much in the way of rain up towards the lakes area right now. It's really just been kind of in this one area over the last hour or so. We've been seeing some rain. Chambers County, and then down towards southwestern corner of Jefferson County. But that's marshland down there. Not too many folks live down there, and getting down towards High Island maybe, but not quite there yet. As we look at our forecast, we'll go with about a 30% coverage of some scattered showers through about mid-morning, then see rain chances drop off a little bit, and then about a 30, maybe even 40% coverage as we head towards this evening. Don't expect to see a repeat of what we saw yesterday, but definitely could see some thunderstorms with some lightning and some heavy downpours. And temperatures today up into the lower to middle 90s with south winds at 5 to 10.
All right, thank you, Jeff. We want to tell you about a desperate search that's set to resume this morning for a Texas man who went missing while hiking in South Carolina. Richard Gonzalez hasn't been seen since this weekend, and new this morning, Alex Rosier gets us all caught up on this search that's underway right now in the Carolinas.
Family and friends are desperately hoping that Richard Gonzalez is found safe. The Garland man, he started his hike in South Carolina this weekend, and by Monday at lunchtime, he was missing.
They had gone for a swim somewhere in the area between Oconee and Table Rock, and the two friends had gotten out of the water, and he was kind of just, gathering his stuff. They went on ahead, and they believed that maybe at that point when he was trying to catch up to them, he maybe went down the wrong area.
I spoke with his best friend. Richard was on a 76-mile hike from Oconee State Park to Table Rock State Park. He was about 15 miles into a 76-mile hike when he got separated from his group. The good news is he packed more than a week of food. He has plenty of supplies like a tent, blanket, extra clothes, batteries, flashlights, and knives. His friends are cautiously optimistic, knowing he has the essentials, but they won't be able to rest easy until they know their friend is safe.
We're all really worried about him. We love him very much, and we're waiting for that call that somebody found him and is going to bring him back, so we can all, just give him a hug and maybe knock him around a little bit for making us worry so much.
I had the chance to speak with Oconee's emergency management spokesperson earlier today. He told me that they have people on the portion of the trail where Richard went missing as they hope for a positive end to this scary story. In Dallas, I'm Alex Rosier.
Overseas, new details about that massive explosion in Beirut, Lebanon. At least 150 people are now confirmed dead. And as Rena Roy reports, the explosive compound from the blast is being traced back to a Russian cargo ship.
This morning, a new day of uncertainty for the estimated 250,000 people left homeless by that massive explosion in Beirut. This satellite image shows the blast site before and after, the area decimated, a crater filled with water where a building once stood, an American living in Beirut describing the nightmare.
I ran down to the street to see what was going on, kind of took cover because so much glass was falling from a bit of everywhere and so much glass on the streets.
This morning, officials at the port of Beirut are under house arrest until an investigation determines who's to blame as we learn more about what fueled the blast. The 2,700 tons of ammonium nitrate was confiscated 6 years ago, reportedly from a Russian cargo ship that stopped at the port because of financial difficulties. The New York Times reports the chemical was moved to a dockside warehouse after a dispute over what to do with the cargo, and nothing was apparently done to secure it. The blast changing lives in a matter of moments. The power of the explosion on display during this interview, the woman later saying she's fine. And this bride was posing for her wedding photos when the blast ripped through the city.
when I heard the explosion, one thing came into my mind, that now my life has changed from wedding, happiness, into a sad moment. Now I'm not going to be the bride. Now I'm gonna die.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Highly hazardous and very combustible are two ways some experts describe ammonium nitrate. It's made around the world and most commonly used as fertilizer. But A.W. Armstrong with BSI, a health and safety consulting firm, says there are characteristics about ammonium nitrate that make it a potentially dangerous material, one that it can explode, just like we saw in Beirut.
Many other places, the West Texas explosion that occurred a couple of years ago, in and of itself is not dangerous. There are some things that have to happen for it to become dangerous. It needs to be exposed to a high temperature. It needs to be exposed to an ignition source.
OSHA and the Department of Homeland Security have specific regulations related to the chemical. Companies also report to the two federal agencies what they're manufacturing, how much, and where it's being stored, but that information is not public for security reasons.
Now to our continuing coronavirus coverage. Numbers dropped across the board in Texas yesterday. Still 235 more Texans lost their lives to the virus Wednesday. The state also reporting 8,706 new cases, which is less than Tuesday, but still above the 7-day weekly average. As you can see here on the big board, locally things look a bit better too. We saw 235 new cases. That's roughly half of what we saw on Tuesday. And of those new cases, only 49 were in Jefferson County. 119 cases came from Orange County. There were also 2 new deaths reported on Wednesday. There will be 2 COVID-19 testing sites open for you today. The first at Orange County Expo Center on FM 1442 in Orange. It'll be open from 8 to 4 today. The second at the Carl A. Parker Center on the campus of Lamar State College, Port Arthur. It is free and you just have to walk up, take your ID with you. Testing also from 8 to 4 this afternoon or while testing supplies last.
Buna ISD preparing for the school year by adding a special device that checks temperatures. Students will walk up to it every morning before heading to class. Green means you're in the clear. Yellow means that you're approaching a fever, and red means you have a fever. Those showing a fever will be isolated to a separate classroom away from other students and staff while their parents are contacted.
Well, it's just an added layer of protection. Number one, we ask all parents to self-screen the child. And what that looks like is, are they running fever? Do they look sick?
He highly recommends that parents not send kids to school if they are showing any symptoms at all. Students can expect to get checked in the mornings and also during lunch.
Had a couple of showers show up on radar this morning. Nothing too widespread. Most of the activity now is down in Chambers County. Looks like we will see some more rain later on this afternoon. We'll look at that and your forecast as we head towards the weekend coming up.